Enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts.
Hello. Today I think I'll talk about the prison chow hall. All kinds of things happen there, you know. But before I do, subscribe if you're new, share this, hit the like, you know, comment. I always try to answer all the comments. But, oh, and before I get started, if you guys haven't already, go check out Convicted Hearts. That's a pretty good channel there, you know, prison content. And she does real. I think so, anyway. Anyway, I never thought I would never get so tired of beans and potatoes in my life. It seems like, well, when I was at the Walls, they served potatoes all the time. You had baked potatoes, you had hash browns, you had French fries, you had mashed potatoes, you know, anything that you think of that we made out of potatoes, they had it. You know, excuse me, we live pretty close to a racetrack here, Lucas Oil Speedway, but so they're doing a thing over there right now. Other camps, it seemed like it was beans, you know. You had pinto beans, you had green beans, you had like a bean salad with different beans in it, you know. All kinds of beans. But they had things that, like, they had these discs like things they'd serve you in the morning. They called sausage. And really all it tasted like was cardboard. Now that I think about it, I think cardboard tastes better. But on the box that it came in, it would say something like, for institutional use only, you know. So one time a health inspector came in and was talking to a bunch of us that worked in the kitchen at the time, and there was a guard there. And I said, when it came time, they said, do we have any questions, you know? And I said, yeah. Why does that box of sausage say for institutional use only? You mean you can't serve it to people on the streets? I said, not that I would. It's terrible. And he said, it's just a low-grade meat. The guard says, you know, sometimes I eat here. I'd kind of like to know, he says, you know, I eat the prison food, so I'd kind of like to know, you know, what do you mean by low-grade meat? That's just a low-grade meat. Well, I asked him again, I said, it's not really telling us anything, you know, you're just saying it's low-grade meat, you know. So finally he said, I wouldn't feed that to my dog. Does that make you all happy? But, you know, there's other things that had things like that too, you know, for institutional use only. And it's not because it came in, it said that on the box. It wasn't like a label on there like it was made, so it was made for the prison, you know. They broke that on the box. But they had other things that was, they called Salisbury steak. That was just like a soy burger, really. Some of the food wasn't bad, you know, like the pizzas was more like the pizzas that were served in the schools. You know, a square piece of pizza with cheese on it. That's about all it had. And sometimes that was burnt, depending on who was cooking it. They had the stuff they called tetrazzini. Alfredo was another one. And just all these different things. And you know, I've seen some of them in the stores since I've got out, like Alfredo and stuff, but I know it has to taste better than what was served there, but I can't bring myself to try it, you know, just because that stuff was nasty. But you know, you had people in prison that would just, they loved it, you know. I don't know if it, I wouldn't say they might have not loved it, but they went up there and ate, and they would want extras, you know. You know, some of the things like the pancakes wasn't bad, the French toast wasn't bad, you know, but the oatmeal wasn't bad. I didn't really like the cream of wheat, the grits too much, you know. When I did eat grits, I'd put salt and pepper on it. Most people put sugar on it. There's one guy from Louisiana, and he put salt and pepper on his too, and he said that was the only way to eat it. He said I don't understand people putting sugar on their grits. But there was also other things that happened in the chow hall, not just the chow hall, but back in the kitchen itself, you know, fights, you know. The funny thing about fights in the chow hall is if you were sitting down eating and a fight broke out and they came in and they maced everybody, then they'd let you get an extra tray, you know, get another tray. So if it was a good meal and you liked the meal and you was almost done eating, the fight broke out, and they came in and maced everybody, you know, because, you know, when they're macing the people that are in the fight, it gets everywhere. So then they let you get another tray, you know. But, I mean, I've seen people argue over the most stupid thing. The thing about Mexicans, they, you know, some mornings they would serve us grapefruit, and what it was a half of a grapefruit. You get half of a grapefruit on your tray. And these Mexicans, because a lot of people didn't like grapefruit, and I was one of them, they go around and ask everybody for their grapefruit, if they's going to eat their grapefruit. And the tables they sat at would be just stacked full of grapefruit everywhere, you know, and they loved it. But I didn't like it too much. But you'd see people fight over, I don't know what it is about the chow hall, but people fought a lot in the chow hall, it seemed like, or the gym, you know. As long as they stayed away from the weights, I didn't care, you know. Yeah, but it was just, and there was fights back there behind, you know, in the kitchen itself. And before I got a job in recreation and you know, got out the kitchen and got out food service, warehouse and all that, I was working in the prep room. And we got done early, and they asked if I would volunteer to serve on the line because somebody went to the hole. So we're on the line serving, and they had a staff cook there. And she said, how did she put it? She put something like this: I think anybody who's in here for murder, you know, who killed somebody, should be hung on the courthouse steps. Well, they almost didn't get her out of there in time. People were going to beat her ass. And, but she came back, you know, they got her out of there, and a few days later she came back and she apologized to everybody. Well, that's all I got for you today. I think it's about to die on me. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.